Hello and welcome to the Sparta Mayor Manager Show. I'm Mayor Wes Breniger along with our town manager Brian Edwards. And Brian, good to see you out here again, month of November. A loaded month as you might expect here, Thanksgiving and Veterans Day and all these other holidays coming up. Just a great blessing here to have our town looking good, and got our first snow today.
We did. Thank you, Mayor, and glad to be here. And yes, it was definitely a cold morning. I've got on my winter boots and winter pants this morning, and probably tomorrow morning going to be even more important based on the forecast that we're looking at, but in the teens tomorrow morning.
We had our monthly meeting this past Tuesday. Of course, it was election night also too, so we want to congratulate all those that come out to vote. And congratulate Millie Richardson and Terry McGrady as they retain their seat. And we'll be welcoming a newcomer, Mr. Cole Edwards, coming on.
Yep, glad to have those folks back with us and looking forward to hitting the ground running. Mayor Breniger, we've got a lot of projects that are in progress, and we'll cover many of those today, but yeah, a lot of activity.
And before I go any further too, I just want to give a nice shout out to Councilman Chris Jones. Chris is going off the council. His last meeting will be in December, as Cole will take his spot. But Chris Jones, a great American and a great countryman here in our part of the world right here in Sparta, and has done an outstanding job being a leader in our community.
Yes, he has. I've really enjoyed working with Chris. He served 2 full terms and has done a really fine job representing the town. So he will be missed.
We had started off our meeting. We had a couple guests that showed up, and our first guest was Ginger Collins from the Allegheny Riders, and she gave us a progress report, and that group really is doing a great job in our community.
They really are. I was impressed with the report that Ginger shared with us. She's working with the Allegheny Riders, all 3 elementary schools. She's introduced a program. Actually, I don't know that she introduced the program, but she is helping instill the program of writing across curriculums. And so she and her board of directors and the folks who are assisting her are working in the elementary schools, and that's a really, I think, important program, and glad to see that that's being instituted into all 3 elementary schools.
And then we started off with the High Country Council of Governments. We had a couple appointments there for consideration, and what a great organization that is to be a part of.
They've done a great job for us, and John Brady, Councilmember John Brady, has served the town on the Rural Transportation Authority board for a number of years, and John's appointment expires at the end of December. He has indicated a willingness to continue to serve on that board, and so he was reappointed by the council. So John will continue to be the representative for the town of Sparta on the Rural Transportation Planning Board. And
then we, as of course we just mentioned that Chris Jones was leaving the town council, so he had an opening right there.
Right, and the council chose Mayor Breniger to appoint you to fill that seat, and that's pretty typical of the 7 counties and the 19 municipalities that are represented on the High Country. It's very common for the mayor to be that town representative. Chris had held that seat for about 4 or 5 years and did a great job for us, and I'm sure you'll enjoy that fellowship and getting to know those folks in Boone.
Really just a great group of folks up there, and I had the privilege of meeting them last month. I rode up with Chris, and just an excellent bunch. Something that I really am absolutely thrilled about is that our North Carolina Parks and Recreation Trust Fund project, and this is huge, Brian.
It really is. It's going to make significant improvements at Krause Park. The council did approve to execute the contract, so that will be effective as of December the 5th when we enter into that contract with the Parks and Recreation Trust Fund. That's $194,000 of grant funds that will be coming to the town of Sparta. We'll be building handicap accessible restrooms at the park. We'll be adding a handicap accessible restroom inside the Krause house, which is very much needed for that facility. We'll be doing some sidewalk improvements. New playground equipment is probably the single biggest item that the children will enjoy. Some of that equipment has been around there for many, many years, and we're looking forward to making those improvements to Krause Park.
And that's kind of going right along with our streetscape also, so Krause Park's getting a facelift too.
That's right, and the timing on it's going to be really good because we should be winding up the streetscape in the latter part of next year. Krause Park will be starting those improvements probably in the spring or midsummer. So, and we've got 3 years actually to complete those improvements to the park, and draw down those grant funds. So it's going to be a nice fit for the town with the downtown improvements, streetscape improvements, our farmers market, and now Krause Park with the facelift that they'll be receiving.
So we've got all kinds of stuff going on in our little town, and a lot of construction and a lot of makeover. So we're going to be something to see here in about a year or so.
Right.
We had a financial audit from the ABC board, and the CPA had done a great job with that, said everything looked good.
Everything looks good. Our little ABC store is profitable, makes a good contribution to the town and county with the revenues that are there. And they got a nice, clean audit report, and we appreciate those board members that serve on that board. Alan Wyatt, Teresa Woodle, and Robert Andrews are our appointees to that board, and we appreciate the good work that they do.
And then one of the things that I always like is to look over at our finance officer when we have our budget report and get the thumbs up.
Right.
So our budget looks good.
Everything's on track. Revenues are tracking in very well. Expenditures are actually running a little bit less than the budget percentage-wise. So at this point in time, we're 3 months in now, almost 4 months into this year's budget, and everything's looking really good.
Now here's where the part of the show that we're going to probably talk a little bit in depth a little bit about, give everybody a good update, is our water line replacement and the streetscape project. And those guys have continued to do an excellent job of working, and I noticed that they have paved up some of the road there, patched it up a little bit. So we're doing everything we can to accommodate everybody's needs in the town, merchants and our citizens. But I just want to give a shout out to Vinoy Construction. They're really doing a good job.
They really are. And the sub that's installing the water line is Carolina Grading and Utilities. They're doing an excellent job for us as well. We definitely are in a construction zone, no question about it. And so we continue to ask people to drive slowly and drive safely, because there are people working in dangerous situations out there and operating equipment. So we do ask everybody to be very mindful of that and be careful. But in terms of progress, all the water line is completed down to Whitehead Street now at this point. So from Trojan Avenue to Whitehead Street, the major part of that work is done, other than the final resurfacing. Of course, we have a lot of sidewalk work and other underground utility work that'll be done on the north side. But at this point in time, our priority is getting all the water line installed. So they'll be starting this week, weather permitting, installing the water line from Whitehead Street down to Grandview Drive. That project will take a few weeks, I'm sure, and we're hopeful to have that all in, and then we'll decide how much additional work we can get done. If this morning was any indication of the winter weather that might be coming, we very likely will have to postpone some of the other improvements until the weather breaks in the early part of spring of the year. But right now it's undetermined. We really can't know, and we can't predict what the weather will do, but we're going to get as much work completed in this year as we can. And when it comes to the point where it's not feasible to have construction going on, then we'll put the stops on it and we'll pick it up in the spring of the year.
Appreciate you going to the county commissioners meeting also and giving them an update on everything. So everybody's still on board. Everybody's got the information that's out there. We will continue to put information out on Facebook, out on our website. You can call the town office at any time during Monday through Friday, and there's somebody there that will answer your question, and we'll try our best to keep the information coming.
Well, thank you, and I would say direct your questions to me if it's a question about Streetscape. If I'm not in the office, leave your name, number, and I'll be happy to get back with you. You can leave a voicemail on my telephone, or you can leave a message with the ladies up front. They'll be glad to get that to me. But if you've got concerns or questions about something going on with the construction work, I am very happy to speak with you about that and understand what's going on.
And I just want to thank you, Brian. You go out of your way to accommodate all these folks that do have questions. I really appreciate that. The Crestview booster pump is almost complete.
Almost complete, and I'm going to say maybe just a few days of work. We actually have a meeting scheduled for next Friday, which should wrap up all of the final construction details. All the construction's basically done. This will be cleaning up any change orders or work orders and doing what we call the punch list. But the project is substantially complete, and it's going to be a really nice addition, Mayor Brininger, to our town water distribution system. And I think the folks that live on 18 South, particularly over in the Green Acres subdivision, are going to see an improved water condition, and certainly better fire protection and fire flow for those emergency needs.
You know, a lot of these, and we can go talk about that. We've talked about that in depth over at Green Acres and here in town. Those lines have been in the ground for a long, long time.
Many, many years, yes.
And so this is going to be a big improvement for them, and just a great thing. The SRC is coming to us next month. I believe Karen Lees is the one that's going to be giving us a report about our downtown historic project that might be coming up.
Our SRC group, they're doing some preliminary work working through the State Historic Preservation Office to understand the benefits that might come with a historic downtown designation. At this point, we really don't know, Mayor Brinegar, based on preliminary information. There seems to be quite a bit of benefits to it because there are tax credits available to the building owners who make an investment in a historic property. So if anything like that we can do to improve the investment opportunities downtown certainly should be beneficial to us. And that coincides with another program operated by the state called the Opportunity Zone. And in this case, the Opportunity Zone for Allegheny County overlays the entire downtown area of Sparta. So we're working hard. There's a group of committed citizens who are interested in this, and they're going to be bringing information to the town council about what kind of benefits and investment opportunities we might see from historic tax credits.
Before we finish out our show here with upcoming events, I want to jump backwards just a bit. We just celebrated our Veterans Day yesterday. Had a tremendous program at Veterans Park, and it was encouraging to see the folks come out and support our local veterans. I have toured the schools here in the last 3 or 4 days. Glade Creek, Allegheny High School, Sparta School, and Piney Creek is this afternoon. I just want to say to our youth out there, I am just so proud of our patriotism that we show, the thank you letters that these kids have wrote. Youngsters are coming out in droves to shake a hand. I just want to say how proud I am of our youth here in this county. And that's just great, and our veterans deserve that.
It is, and it was a very impressive program yesterday. I thought you did a good job of recognizing and honoring the veterans who were there. Also, Miranda Root did a really nice presentation. She had some binders that had been put together for our World War II veterans. They were presented with those binders, and I agree with you. I think our students doing a good job of recognizing the importance of honoring our veterans.
Just very, very proud of you guys out there that's watching our show here. Thank you for everything, and thank you for your support. We've got Thanksgiving coming up here very soon, November 28th, and we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Have a safe and happy time. Enjoy your family time. Cut that turkey, and if you have any left over, I'm sure Brian and myself can find our way to your house.
We sure can.
Devour the leftovers. Christmas parade is coming up,
right.
But we had a Jeff Smith come in from Sparta Lights and Entertainment in our meeting and give us a report on that. And those guys have done another outstanding, fabulous job just getting stuff ready. Tree lighting ceremony coming up.
It is at Krause Park this year. We're going to move it from Main Street in front of the courthouse. Uncertainty about exactly where the construction project might be, so I just think it was a prudent on the behalf of the Sparta Lights and Entertainment to go ahead and say, let's move this to Krause Park. That way we don't have to worry about any last minute changes in terms of construction schedule. I think it's going to be a great space over there. There's a lot of parking. The house is going to have some decorations around it. The Sparta Lights and Entertainment folks have added lighting to the Krause Park stage. They've added lighting to the house, and there will be a live Christmas tree, I understand, and also the 30-foot tall lighted tree. So it's going to be a great place, and we encourage folks to come out. That's going to be on Friday evening at 6 p.m. That'll be on the 29th. Of course, Thanksgiving is the 28th. We'll have the Christmas tree lighting at Krause Park on the 29th, and the Christmas parade on Saturday, November the 30th, beginning at 2 p.m., and that'll be coming right down Main Street as normal.
So we want to encourage everybody to come out to these events, support all the merchants in our town. Don't forget about them during Streetscape. We encourage you to shop local here for Christmas time. Show your Sparta spirit right there. Come on out and help these folks out here as we continue our Streetscape project. And Brian, I'm just overwhelmed with the sense that's in the air of the camaraderie of the people here, and people are coming together. And I'd like to give a shout out to my good friend Charlie Scott, who's in the booth right here, for all Charlie does. He does all these video productions for us, comes out and he's hanging lights up and stuff like that and doing some things. He was at the Veterans Ceremony out there yesterday in the heat on the pavement, but just a good man, and I appreciate it.
I want to join you in our congratulations and our thank you to Charlie Scott for the good work he does. Thank you, Charlie. And ACTV.
And ACTV. If you have anything else, Brian,
That's-
that you'd like
that's
to
all.
say out there to our
All.
folks, well,
we won't be here anymore, so we'll just wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
and
we do.
We'll have our regular December meeting on the first Tuesday of December.
come on by. We'll be recognizing our Super Bowl champions from K2 and the 3rd and 4th grade in our December meeting. For Brian Edwards, I'm Mayor Wes Brenniger. We'll see you next time on the Sparta Mayor Manager Show.